我是害怕碰触的女孩导演黄亮欣。A Girl Who's Afraid of Touching People 是一部5分钟的动画短片，描述一个害怕碰触的女孩试着克服这恐惧以及为何恐惧的旅程。在整部片中，你不会看到她，只能透过她的手、呼吸和周遭事物的变化去感受她的情感。在构思这部作品时，我就想，如果人的情感能够映照在周遭环境，就像你凝视着一个人的房间，能够感觉到他的个性，那只透过描写周遭环境，没有角色的出现，是否故事也能成立呢？所以我用了不同的色调去描述这个女孩她的房间，日常焦虑的样子，爆发前的平静时刻，还有情绪爆炸的时刻，希望能透过环境里的蛛丝马迹，呈现女孩对碰触的渴望和恐惧。当时的我还在英国念书，很着迷于动画短片与诗的连结，也写了一篇论文去谈论动画是不是可以以诗的方法来观看。动画可以像诗一样，流动的或片段的去阐述人的感受，不用完整的叙事，透过情感的延续去完成一部作品。也将这个想法放进片中。片子里分成4个章节，每个章节开头都有一句话，就像我们透过诗名去猜想诗的内容，我们也透过这4句话来猜测每个章节发生的事。制作这部片大概花了1年的时间，半年的发想和半年的制作。大概有了概念后，我先从声音开始，透过声音把影片的结构建出来，便开始一些动画测试。这是我在 Web Show 的一些片段。之后将这些测试和声音做成动态脚本后，开始用 TV Pen 画动态，当做之后正式拍摄时的参考。最后再进暗房用油画边画边拍完成的。每个景都是独立用一张赛璐璐片或是玻璃画。最后的最后，想与大家分享2019年曾在展览里的样子。
大家好，我是英赛的导演连俊杰，很开心有这个机会在南海学院动漫艺次元跟大家分享这个短片。这个短片的概念其实来自于我们2012年发展的同名绘本，它是写给小朋友关于自我探索的一本书，一直都很想把它做成动画短片，但是因为工作忙碌的关系延宕了很久，一直到今年初才终于能够顺利把它完成。当初会想要使用纸胶视觉，其实是因为我们有参与一个制作案，它是介绍一个日本建筑大师伊东丰雄在台湾建案的视觉宣传影片，其中有一段他个人童年回忆的片段，我们是用纸雕动画来呈现的。当时我们团队的美术设计蔡佩珊，他在人物造型的简单轮廓里面画了很多很细致、很繁复的图文。主要的动机还是希望可以让视觉上可以更丰富，是比较偏装饰性的视觉策略这样。但后来我就在想，如果里面的图文不只是装饰性，而是一个人内在蕴含的视觉的一个具象化的话，是不是可以发展成一个关于自我探索的一个图画书？结果就在从台中提案回来的高铁路上，就试着把这个概念用文字写出来。然后回到公司，我再请蔡佩珊发展成视觉，才有《Inside》这本书的原型。那因为是设定给亲子共读的绘本，所以在文字书写上它相对的比较浅白易懂。但我们并没有试图要透过这个短片给予任何的答案跟方向，只希望在视觉上可以有足够的想象空间，来启发并且鼓励小朋友去思考他们内在蕴含的各种可能性。不过动画短片的制作一直延宕到2019年才启动，非常感谢国艺会的赞助，给了我们继续往前推进的动力跟目标，这部短片才能够顺利在今年初顺利完成。能够完成，也算是给了当初所有参与这个案子的伙伴有个很好的交代，也很高兴有机会可以分享这个概念给原来预设的观众。 我们目前正在努力促成实体绘本的出版，希望有机会可以尽快跟大家见面，也希望你们会喜欢这部短片，谢谢。
我是饶宇安，我2020年毕业于北大动画系，然后我现在是专职的自由艺术创作者。我的过去的作品形式包含插画、动画还有漫画，然后主要都是着重在失去还有记忆这两个主题上。奢侈繁叶这部作品是我的毕业制作，然后它的故事线主要是在讲一个失明的女生，她久违的跟心上人重逢，然后回忆起很多事情的故事。我做这部片最大的一个动机，是因为我自己经常就是到了晚上，我会有一个很强烈的感觉是，今天又是很平凡的一天，然后我爱的人有些已经离开了，有些还在。生命非常的短暂，可是我们愿意在这么短暂的时间为彼此停留，是一件很平凡，但是又很美丽也很奢侈的一件事情。所以这部片主要想要传达的是这样子的感受。然后另外一个动机是，因为我自从进入大学之后，无论在创作还是在工作上，我都一直非常着重在视觉这个感官上。那我其实有一个很深的恐惧，就是害怕自己会失去视力，所以这个故事线也是来自于我自己很深的恐惧。
大家好，我的名字叫做吴晨云，我的小短片叫做 Draw 能助 Draw， 也就是英文单字 Draw 画图的3个时态。我主要就是用5个问题，然后还有5个答案，然后去讨论我自己和画图的关系。你为什么画图？然后你如何画图？为什么停止画图？如何又回到画图？最后就是你未来还画图吗？这部片我主要用的表现方式就是 pixelation， 我就是随机的画了非常多的小插图，然后呢再把这些小插图个别分割扫描，然后最后把它们放进时间轴里面，然后放进那5个问题的结构里面，然后最后用音乐去剪接它们。我觉得音乐在这里面就是一个非常重要的元素，因为它可以拉住我的叙事线，然后让这些小插图不至于太过松散。欢迎大家可以多看几次这个小短片，因为它是 pixelation， 然后它 frame by frame 都是不一样子的画面，所以如果看1次、看2次、看第3次，看到的内容可能都会有一点点的不一样。我觉得这件事情也蛮有趣的，然后也欢迎大家可以想想看我们观看的速度跟观看内容上面的好玩之处。
Hi, I'm Jinuk Che and I'm director of Beyond the Line. Main character of my film is a wheelchair who dream of being fast like a racing car. One night, the wheelchair decides to race in the hospital hallway with his friends. This unique race used a bandage to mark the starting line and the sound of heart rate device for the starting race signal. I want to show through this film that dreaming gives us a chance to have a new interpretation about given reality and to change our lives. This story was inspired by my personal experience. I have been to children's hospital and I was sad to see the children who have to play outside confined to a hospital filled with heavy air. Then, I could see the children staring at the TV and watching animation. I realized that animation is not just killing time, but the channel to imagine and dream beyond the hospital space for children. And it seems to apply to all of us. not just those in the hospital. Since this experience, I've decided to make animation for people who need hope and joy. I hope you enjoy this film and have a great festival.
Bonjour, Domo s'est inspiré de l'histoire de mes grands-parents. Donc ma grand-mère avait l'Alzheimer et ça avait beaucoup modifié la relation qu'elle entretenait avec mon grand-père. Et c'est ce qui a été à la base de l'écriture de Domus. Après, Domus, c'est aussi une exploration autour du couple que j'avais commencé avec Colocataire et qui va se poursuivre avec le prochain film qui est en cours de production, donc je ne vais pas parler ici. Et oui, dans Domus, donc Domus c'est la maison en latin, mais c'est aussi la famille. C'est un peu l'équivalent de home en anglais, qui veut dire le chez-soi. Et donc c'est comment la maison peut être un enjeu de relations humaines et peut être la manière d'exprimer sa relation à l'autre à travers et le territoire et les objets. Donc voilà, c'était un peu les thèmes que j'ai pu explorer dans ce film. Voilà, merci beaucoup.
My name is João Gonzalez, and I'm the director of the short animated film Nestor, which was my first year project at the animation course at Royal College of Art in London. It's a film about a man who suffers from OCD and ironically lives in his own worst nightmare. Nestor's mind is at ease when all of his objects and furniture are, each of them, in a specific location, the correct place. But unfortunately, he lives in a very narrow, 3-floor stall boat that never stops oscillating, therefore constantly moving all of his objects and furniture from their original place. Although this short film takes place in a very surreal and bizarre scenario, which is something that I particularly like to explore in my works, that is possible in the medium of animation, it's quite a personal film in the sense that it is inspired by my own personal experiences with obsessive-compulsive behavior. My intent was to create some sort of a physical film that itself would simulate Nestor's mental state during its viewing experience, through a variety of elements such as its own editing, music, characters' movement, and sound design that were all conceived respecting the rhythm that in a way controls Nestor's life. All of these elements in this film are very rhythmic and metric, almost robotic, trying to simulate the feeling of constraint and anxiety of someone who lives trapped in his own mind in a repetitive routine. Visually, the film maintains a very limited color palette, messy textures, and strong dark shadows, something that I always liked incorporating in my illustrations, and that, I think, helps to give the environments a more cinematic and dramatic aspect. The film was made using traditional 2D frame-by-frame animation. Both the animation and backgrounds were drawn and colored in Photoshop. I also decided to model the film's movie set, in this case Nestor's boat, in 3D using Autodesk Maya. This is something that I normally do when I'm working on a film in which the scenario is of particularly big importance for the narrative. I don't, however, end up using the 3D renders for the film. In my case, the purpose of having a 3D model of a scenario is so that I can always have a quick access to the film's movie set and virtually visit it whenever I want, seeking new ideas for shots and framings, or even inspiration for the film's narrative. It's my only way of doing location scouting, since my film's locations don't actually exist in real life. Nevertheless, there were a couple of cases where the 3D model of the boat also served as a good reference for long camera movements, which would take way longer to make if I animated them from imagination, like I did for the character. Music and sound are elements that I consider of the utmost importance in a film. I always take the role of composer and sometimes instrumentalist in the films that I make, using knowledge from my background in classical piano, which is now a hobby that I maintain to this day. For Nestor, I decided to compose for cello, which I found to be an adequate instrument, since there's some similarity between its sound and the creaking sound of wood, which is something we hear quite a lot inside Nestor's wooden boat. I was very pleased to have the chance of working with Miguel Teixeira, the amazing cello player that played the soundtrack we hear in the film. The sound mix was made by the brilliant Ed Rousseau at National Film and Television School in Beaconsfield, who brought a whole new dimension and sense of immersion to the film. This project was conceived in a quite short period of time, roughly 4 months, which, although a bit stressful, like the film itself, was a very important experience for me. I learned a lot by having the chance of collaborating with wonderful people like Miguel and Ed, and also sharing the whole process with my peers and teachers from Royal College of Art, who I miss a lot.
Hello dear friends, my name is Dina Velikovskaya and I'm the director of the film Ties. 5 years ago I moved from Russia to Germany, and this move was a big change for me and my parents. That's why I made this film. I felt the need to make this film because I was worried about my parents. I would like to tell you something about the technique of this film. I combine stop motion animation with drawing animation. All subjects in the film are done with wire, and all character animation is drawn by 3D pen. This is the result. As you can see, you can hold drawings in your hands, and you can see how many it is. The interesting thing is that drawing animation is casting shadows in this film, and it's pretty feelable. It's very real. There are more frames I would like to show you, and some more. Okay, enjoy the film. Bye bye.